We begin with reports that the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has apologized to the organized labor over the attack on the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on the 1st of November. This was contained in a statement signed by the head of strategic communications in the office of the National Security Advisor. Mr. Ribadu urged Labour to resign its decisions on the ongoing strike, adding the attackers of Mr. Ajero has been arrested and investigation have also commenced. The NLC added that the federal government regrets the incident that happened in Imo and condemns it in its entirety, noting that it was against the rule of law and the principles of freedom of association and expression subscribed to by the President Tinubu and his administration. President Bola Tinubu will on Thursday join other heads of state and government in Guinea-Bissau to celebrate the country's 5th year independence anniversary and Armed Forces Day. President Tinubu will arrive on Thursday for the ceremony, which will be hosted by the President Umaru Mbalo. Guinea-Bissau marked its 5th year independence anniversary on September 24th, 2023, but the government has also scheduled all celebrations for November 16th, 2023. The president is expected to return to Nigeria on Thursday. And earlier today, staff and visitors to the National Assembly were again locked out on day 2 of the nationwide strike declared by organized labor. The workers called on the leadership of the National Assembly to intervene to end the crippling industrial action. Earlier also, gates leading to the National Assembly complex were shut as labor leaders manned the gate. Only a few workers who had arrived at the National Assembly as early as 7 a.m. had access. Workers were since stranded as they sat in groups to discuss their developments. For more on this strike, I have joining me on the news public analyst and PRO at Vanguard, Michael Balogun. Glad to have you join us on the news at this hour.
It's been a pleasure.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has apologized to the organized labor over the attack on the president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, in Imo State. And he said the attackers have also been arrested. However, we could see some sort of divide in the NLC through the level of partial compliance of some of its members yesterday. Was this movement worth risking the interest of over 200 million Nigerians just to register their displeasure?
Not at all. If you ask me, honestly, the nationwide strike is unwarranted, uncalled for, and needless. Granted that the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress was harassed and brutalized in Imo State. That is not enough to call a nationwide strike. Calling a nationwide strike should have been the last resort for labor to resort to. There are other ways and other means that labor can use to get justice, other than putting the whole country into this situation that we are currently. This strike is not as a result of the welfare and the well-being of the Nigerian workers. The sole purpose of calling this strike, this nationwide strike, is what happened in Imo. And the IG, Inspector General of Police, has already deployed the CP, who was in charge at that time, and has also told us, is in the public space, that investigation into it has started. I expected the leadership of the labor union in the country to wait or to pressurize the IGP to hasten the investigation. So those who are involved in that criminal act will be unveiled. But instead of doing that, they went to what I call a show of force. What this nationwide strike means to me is simply a show of force. And that is a minus on the part of the labor. It's a minus. Because when you are talking of a show of force, you cannot compare yourself to government. For heaven's sake, after God is government. Is government. So, labor should exercise caution and not destroy the genuine movement of labor movement in Nigeria. The genuine struggle for the welfare of workers in Nigeria. That is my point and my view.
Well, I'm also wondering how the labor will be, responsible for what the effect of this strike has been on the economy. While we may be close to a settlement, let's also not forget that a court order was given to stop the strike, one which the Nigerian labor actually flouted. And should a flagrant disobedience such as this, this is known as contempt of court, should it actually be, overlooked?
It's very unfortunate that labor leaders, out of all people, are the one disobeying the court order. We are guided by the rule of law. Once a court has given an order, lawyer will tell you that whether that order is properly given or not, it must be obeyed until it is vacated. The only option that labor has will have been to go to court and vacate that order. But to disobey the order of court is very, very shocking to me. Very, very shocking. And I was surprised because that was the least I expected from the labor. That was the least. In fact, it is clear that the strike as we have it now is not about Nigerian workers. Don't forget that the labor leaders in the country sponsor a candidate against Tinubu in 2023 election, and their candidate failed. So, election is over. This is governance. I expected labor to cooperate with government because our economy is very, very low. And all hands, including labor, must be on decks to revive our economy. But instead of doing that, they are taking action to worsen the situation. How will anybody?
Well, Michael Balogu is a public analyst and also the PRO at Vanguard. He has been speaking to us live from our studio in Abuja. Thank you so much for talking to us at this time. You're still watching TVC News at 1. Let's take a moment and then return with more stories. Stay with us.